Sports and the weather, talking about Easter. Nice forecast for Easter with a high right around 55. And we have with us Pastor Steve Murray, the lead pastor of the Rock Church Ministries. And you've seen the signs around for the Rock Church in Amesbury, and there are some other Rock churches too. And Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Wynn. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's nice to have you here, and it's nice to learn all about the Rock Church. You know, you can only get so much information on those little signs.
Yeah, it's true.
But you have a lot of things going on at the Rock Church, and before we get too far into it, why don't you tell us what that's all about, what the church is all about?
Well, when we're what we sometimes call a multisite church, we started in Sandown, New Hampshire, actually, and over the years, as that church began to grow, we launched a second campus, we call it, our second location. And so we went up to Plaistow and started a second congregation up there, and then over the years, that kind of grew, and we ended up being invited to partner with a church in Amesbury and become a third campus for our ministry. So we've been now worshiping on 3 locations on a Sunday morning, but still as one church. And we try to do everything together. We share all of our activities and ministries, but we do it with several different worshiping locations.
Now, I've taken a look at your website at rock-church.org, and you have all the services kind of around the same time. So how do you do it?
Good question. I travel around a little bit. Most Sundays I will worship in Sandown. I'll preach in Sandown at 8:45 in the morning. As soon as the service is over, I get in my car and drive to Plaistow. I'll get there. There's a 9:45 service there. I'll get there. The service is already well begun, and other folks have led that. And then I'll get there in time to preach at the second service, and then I'll stay there for a third service. Or other weeks, I will just be in Amesbury. So I'll just come up here, because we have 2 services in Amesbury, a 9:30 and an 11. So I'll just be in Amesbury, and we have what we call campus pastors. We have other leaders in each of the congregations. Each congregation has its own campus pastor as well. So the weeks that I'm up in Amesbury, they will lead in Sandown and Plaistow. So it's really a matter of just having some great leadership and folks who can help carry the ball at various times so that we can all cover the services.
So it's all kind of the same message,
correct?
But it's just in different locations.
Yes. In fact, any given week, and no matter which service you go to, the notes will be the same, the message will basically be the same. We work as a team, the various pastors, and so we prepare. We do sermon series. We'll spend 6-8 weeks talking about something. We just now at the end of Lent here finishing up a series on thankfulness, and so we'll get together before the series begins, and we'll plan out the teaching series. So no matter which one of us is preaching, we all know basically what we're going to be covering any given week. We'll kind of work the notes out together, so people could very well worship at any one of the 3 locations and essentially have the same experience and the same message.
Of course, Easter, very big time of year in the Christian community. And tell us what you have going on for this Sunday, Easter Sunday, or perhaps tonight, Maundy, Thursday. Did you do anything with that?
We did, yes. This whole Holy Week has been very full for us. We have a big music ministry, so we always do special things musically around this time. So we have an Easter cantata, basically, that we performed at our Sandown campus Sunday afternoon, Palm Sunday, and then again Easter Eve tomorrow we're doing that, and then that musical is actually being brought to Amesbury on April 20th. So we'll be performing it up here as a spring concert afterwards. Last night we had Monday, Thursday service here in Amesbury. Tonight we have Good Friday service in Plaistow. So we kind of we move the things around and try and share those resources.
And do folks travel from church to church to catch all the services?
Quite a bit, actually, more than you might think. We have folks who, depending on their schedule for that morning, they might go to Sandown and participate in the earlier service just because they have someplace to be, or if they kind of really want to sleep in, they might wait and just catch an 11 o'clock service at one of the other 2 campuses. So people do travel around, and our choir sings at Sandown and Plaistow, and occasionally also comes up to Amesbury to sing. So we end up crossing over a lot in the music ministry as well.
So that must be that 70-voice choir that will be doing the story on Saturday, April 20th in Amesbury.
That is going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. That is an awesome. And actually, the Amesbury Church building, right there on Main Street, has amazing acoustics, great sound, and so this is going to be an awesome concert. It's a free concert. So if anybody's free on that evening, April 20th at 7 o'clock, definitely come by and catch that. It's going to be an amazing concert.
And that's right across the street from the library, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, right there on kind of the top end of Main Street.
Okay, we're talking with Pastor Steve Murray from the Rock Church in Amesbury, also in Plaistow and Sandown. And you were talking about the music the music ministry.
Yes.
And that's where I got a little bit more information about you from Missy over at the Newburyport Bank. She and her husband Tom, they're very much involved with that.
Yeah. Here in Amesbury, we have 2 services on a Sunday. We have a 9:30 and we have an 11. The 9:30 service, and this is one of the newer things that we kind of brought to the Amesbury Church when we partnered with them, is a contemporary service. And so it's got a full praise team, drums, guitar, bass, vocalists, and actually Missy is part of the praise team. And her husband Tom plays bass for us, and we are amazingly blessed. We've got some really gifted, talented people on the praise team. God has been really good to us in that regard, so we're pretty thankful. So just a great worship experience with them. They just really lead beautifully, and very talented folks.
Interesting. You call it a praise team.
Yes, that's the term usually. I mean, if you walked in and looked at it, it looks like a band. It looks like a rock band. But in the worshiping community, we would call that group of folks a praise team. They're the ones who lead people into worship. And see, that's kind of the difference between a band and a praise team. Is the band is there to perform, whereas a praise team is there to lead people in worship. It's there to draw people in. It's a participatory experience. And so it's not like you just go and listen to them. You go and they lead us into singing. We have projection on the screen, and so people have the lyrics up, and they'll sing, the worship songs with them as they lead.
Oh, wow. And, of course, you're always open to having folks stop in who may not be on a regular basis, or maybe they're without a church and they're looking for something.
Correct. Yeah. In fact, very much so. I mean, our focus is to try and reach out to folks who don't have a church home, and give them an opportunity to experience church that's maybe a little bit different from what they grew up with. Something it's never boring, and it's fun and engaging, and so absolutely. We certainly, particularly here as we come up on Easter, just want to extend an invitation. If folks really just don't have a church home, if you have a church home, that's where you should be on Easter. But if you don't, we would love for you to just come and worship with us. 9:30 contemporary service, 11 o'clock traditional service, right there in the center of Amesbury.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're talking with Pastor Steve Murray from the Rock Church in Amesbury, on Main Street in Amesbury, also in Plaistow and Sandown. And for folks who come in, unchurched folks who come in, or they don't feel affiliated with anything, do they have a common theme, a common story? I used to be here, but something happened or just didn't feel right?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent. It used to be that most people grew up in church, and then, maybe over the course of life, got busy, started raising a family, whatever, went to college, kind of got away. And so sometimes we see folks who had some church upbringing, and just because of the busyness of life, just kind of got away from that, and they're reconnecting. But actually, what we're seeing more and more of is folks who really actually never participated in church growing up, and this is a new experience for them. And so we really try to make it as welcoming experience. We try to make it as user-friendly, if you will. We try to explain things. We don't want people to come in and just be completely confused as, what am I supposed to do, or what's next, or whatever. We really try to make it flow well, and we try to help people really become acclimated well. And I think people will find they get a great welcome when they show up. It really is a great, warm community.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Now, you've been in the pastoral business for more than a year, right?
Yeah. This is my 27th year in ministry. Started out in Sandown as a kid, basically, and
just 10 years old.
Yeah, right. I wish. Yeah, and over these now 27 years, have kind of grown into this role, and so it's been a great been a great life and a great experience. I've really been blessed to be able to do this.
And you've met a lot of people, I bet.
Amazing, great folks. And actually the Amesbury ministry that we've gotten involved in, it has been awesome. I mean, with some of the people that we have gotten to meet, and we've just really grown to love the community, and it's just, it's been an awesome experience. Great folks.
All right, so a good way for them to contact you if they can't get to Easter services?
Sure. Easiest thing is just to go out and find us on the web. As you mentioned a moment ago, rock-church.org. Is our website, and my email is certainly on there. You can see a lot more about the church and what's going on. And so by all means, join us on Easter. But if you can't, check it out. And actually, we even live stream some of the services right there, so you can even see it if you're away. So by all means, come by.
That's nice. All right, well, Steve, thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you, and appreciate it.
All right, Pastor Steve Murray, the lead pastor of the Rock Church Ministries in Amesbury, Plaistow, and Sandown. Of course, they invite you for their Easter services. And the website is rock-church.org. We'll take a look at the news in just a couple of minutes.